Hello all, welcome to another endgame study of the Solving Harder Studies to Improve Chess Calculation series. This endgame study was composed by the German chess composers Jan Sprenger and Martin Minsk. They are both very active and at the top of the world nowadays on the chess composition. I found this one really hard and really interesting and really enjoyable. It's why to move and to win. As always, I suggest you watch the guide if you haven't. If you are already prepared for the practice, then the countdown of 10 minutes will start, and I'll catch you back to start the guided solution. And here we are to start the solution. Basically, let's analyze the position first. So it's very easy to see that black is a bit on an advantage because has an extra pawn. Besides that, it's white to move, so it can compensate a bit. And we are facing a race pawn between our d file pawn against black's g file pawn. And so we start to calculate using that. So we advance the pawn, we promote to the queen, black promotes to the queen, and there's no at least easy way from here to push the position anymore. So we are at the best facing a draw. So in the first position, let's try another thing. Let's see, for example, what happens if the king moves to force the pawn advances, but now I use my knight. Now the king moves to the side. Now I am controlling the promotion square. But here, black has a very simple way to deal with this. Just plays bishop f5, so controlling the advancing of the d pawn now. And of course, if our king takes the bishop, then black takes the knight. And of course, over here, black is going for the win. So promoting first, and then we promote. And of course, black could even go just grabbing the pawn and pushing the other 2 pawns. But there's even an easier way, just pushing the king to the file. And now, of course, the king can't go back to the f file because otherwise it's going to fall into this skewer, grabbing the queen after the check. And so the queen just needs to come to the d file. Now we check it, the king moves to the side of the queen. We just take the queens, exchange it over, and as you can see from here, black is going to be really fast promoting and winning this one. Of course, because other on the other side, black will control the other pawn, of course, not without precision, of course. So, what other ideas can we bring to the table besides the ones that I show and before showing the good move? Let's check the king, but over here the king just goes to f3, and so white can't do anymore. So we need to go to the race, the pawn race, and in the end, there's no way to finish this one. So after a while, we need to think in different ideas. And that's why the best move over here is to bring the knight to d4. Brilliant one, because it's just the only continuation possible to keep fighting for a win. And now it's black to play. Now things start to become more easier to see. Let's see what happens if we go with the king f2. So if you go with the king f2, placing the king in the farthest away position relating to the knight. So the knight has to travel a lot to bring next to the pawn. But of course here it's going to be different because we are going to promote the queen. But after all this, we can check it from the f file. Notice that if the king now comes to e1, drops to a fork from the knight, and if the king comes to fg3, the same will go with the knight going with a check e2 and then grabbing the queen. So this play is forced. The king needs to come to g2. So now we check it again. We have this simple idea. So the king is forced to go to h2, and when it goes to h2, we check it and then we grab the bishop. And I think for you and for me, of course, it's easy to see that it's white that it's going to win. We don't need to go any further over here. And what other options we have for black? Let's say, for example, it goes to f1 square. Well, this is a problem because it's too far away from the pawn. So at any time we can bring our knight. Let's see. Let's just advance the pawn. Black advance the pawn. Now we bring our knight. Let's say that now the king tries to attack the knight, but now we can protect it with the king. And the bishop is one move too far away. You remember on the previous line that we saw that we could take the bishop, but now we just can promote to the queen. And of course, black can't promote because we just take the queen, even losing the knight. It's not enough. We are going to grab the bishop. So it's lost in so many ways that it's a pity to be here losing time. So let's say now that the king comes to the d file, now this is I think easier. We just go to the promotion, and when we reach the promotion, we have this discovered check. So the king on the file is subject to a discovered check, and then next move we take the queen. And so it's a queen versus bishop, easy in the game. So over here, the king is forced to come to e3. So now it's white to play again. Another minute for you. Pause the video if you need for more, and then I catch you up to continue the solution. And the second brilliant move is to check the king from c2, and you may wonder, okay, have I escaped something, or the bishop can take the knight? Well, it can take the knight, but the king is in a very uncomfortable square, because on the end of the pawn race, there will be this check skewer. Well, the king now needs to move away, and on the other side, it's the queen. So this is basically the idea behind checking the king and forcing the king to come to this very critical square, because now we are threatening to grab the queen on the end of the promotion. So the knight sacrifices itself, so the king can't accept the knight, and so the king needs to move, and it goes to e2. Now it's white to play. I could pause here, but I don't think it's needed. And the same idea will come. The knight now plays another brilliant idea. So it goes to e3. The point is, of course, if the king takes the knight, then we go again with the promotion. Black promotes, but in the end, another skewer, another queen. So the king can't accept the knight. What is the right move here for black? It plays this brilliant also counter move of bishop f5. So it's white to play again. Very interesting move. You get another minute. If you need, pause for more, and then I catch you back to finish the guided solution until the end. This is a really cool moment. We can't grab the bishop. Let's say we grab it with the king, then what happens is, of course, black can grab our knight, and then on the end of pawn race, there is no more support to the skewing square of d4, of course, because otherwise the king just takes that. And so without being able to push the queen to win the other one, it's not working. So the king can take the bishop. And the same goes with the knight. If we take with the knight, well, I think this is easier. We just go into promote first. And in the end of the promotion, the queen just takes the remaining pawn. And of course, this is a draw end game for sure. So the brilliant move over here, not easy to see, because we are seeing, okay, if I go with the knight, well, then black promotes first. If I go with the king, then I lose control of the d4 square. So this is not easy. But I hope you have also enjoying this one. You're going to enjoy this one. C6, brilliant one. If you have found it, congratulations. This was really hard. At least for me, it was really hard. The idea is very simple, but becomes obvious just after seeing it, of course. Of course, if black doesn't do nothing, I just can advance the pawn and then promote it. So the other pawn is controlled, okay? So over here, it's black to play. We need to take the pawn. There's no possible way. And then we go for the pawn race. So we grab the bishop, and of course, black needs to grab our knight. Then we advance the pawn, and we grab the queen. And notice that we don't have the supporting square for d4. But now, of course, white has another point of skewing black. It just goes with a check on b6. The king moves away. We grab the queen, and we win this one. Hope you have enjoyed. This was really enjoyable for me. I hope you agree. And as always, I catch you up with future videos. Bye bye.